Well, it's important that we focus on strengthening the aerospace and defense supply chain because we're at a critical point with this industry. There's huge budget cuts coming, and the aerospace and defense industry is such a critical industry for the U.S. overall. It's a leadership position we have. We have a very large export trade balance because of aerospace and defense. There's a lot of good jobs in aerospace and defense, so it's critical that we focus on that now. Militech participates in the Aerospace Industry Association and the Supplier Management Council because we see a lot of value out of it. As a small business, typically small businesses don't have deep management teams. You've got a lot of managers that do a lot of different things. It's hard to keep track of all the legislative issues, what's happening in the industry, what's happening with programs. AIA gives you the opportunity to get all that information. So you can track programs of interest, you can track what's happened on the legislative front, you can track what's happening overall in the defense industry, and then have that collective opportunity to influence some of those things going forward. So we see a lot of value out of belonging to AIA and particularly the SMC. Well, I think if you look at the supply, Boeing and a lot of the primes, they really depend on the small suppliers. They buy a lot of product from the small suppliers, and the small suppliers provide a lot of value. So the primes are critical. They get the major contracts, but if you look at their supply chains, they've got a lot of different companies that supply them. So it's critical that they're involved in these organizations. We chose to become a member of AIA because AIA is a credible organization. It's a grouping of supply chain professionals working on specific industries to aerospace and defense. It provides, for us as a small company, it provides us an opportunity to get in and forge relationships with our legislators, our congressmen and senators. We now have very strong relationships with them. They know our companies. That's critical for us going forward. So I think for small companies, we see a lot of value again in being a part of AIA and particularly SMC.